Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me here today. My name is Gabriel Brent, and we're going to be going over the different stock market outlooks that we have here today. So let's go ahead and get started here. Today, we're going to be looking at Netflix. So as we look at the charts, as we see them, I think it's important that we start on the big perspective, basically doing like a top-down type of perspective here on the Netflix weekly. And as we look at the Netflix weekly charts, I'm looking at the 129 down to the 123 weekly demand zone, and for price to come back into that area and to really retest that area before potentially going even higher than this. Now, based on the chart that we see here, this is the highest that it's been in quite a while, if not for all time. So this is new territory, and we just need to wait patiently for the bounce off of this zone here at 129 before really looking to join the trend to the upside. Looking at the daily time frame, again, I'm just going to go back to what coincides with the weekly time frame. The Elite software is saying up and trending. Couldn't agree more. And as we're looking to the upside here, I'm going to be looking again for the retest of that 129 zone on the weekly. On here, I feel like the 127 zone, it gets a little bit smaller, it breaks it basically into two different levels, but I'm looking at that 127 down to 122 is the level that I'm looking at here on the daily for price to come back into that area, and then we go from there. As we look at the 4-hour time frame, just looking for a little bit of support and resistance in what we are looking to find here. Because we're in new highs, I'm not really seeing a whole lot to the upside, and because we're at new highs, we're in uncharted territory. But to the downside, I'm going to expect for us to find a little bit of support right around in this area, right around 132 is what it looks like, and right around in there is where I would expect to find. Basically, it's the beginning of the gap, okay? So I'm looking at finding some good support there. But overall, I would like us still to come down even lower than that, just so that we can really retest like the 127, 129 area. Basically, this aqua zone here on the 4-hour time frame. So over the next week, I'm looking for price to move down. We are in an uptrend, but guess what? Even in uptrends, don't be surprised to see pullback. So I'm looking for that pullback to happen here this week, and we will go from there. Looking at Amazon this week, we can see that on the weekly time frame, we are moving in an uptrend, and it looks like we've had a nice little pullback here as price is looking to retest the 130, or excuse me, the 830 level. I'm looking for a little retest back down to the downside here as we've just formed this new weekly zone before it continues on in the trend direction. Looking at the daily time frame here, you can see this nice little area that we've identified from 801.77 down to 789.51. That is the area that I am looking for price to really pull back to. Put in a little bit of consolidation over the past couple days, but I'm looking for one little quick pop and then for it to give us a nice little check mark trade here off of this beautiful aqua zone. Now, from a price action and purely technical standpoint, this matches up with a few different things. So let's go ahead and look down at our 4-hour time frame for a little bit of that support and resistance type of deal. Because after all, this trend is up, but it's ranging around. So we want to be very aware of where is support and resistance going to play a role at. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, you can see that the reason why we bounced to where we did at the 820 level was because we were just kissing, or I should say price was kissing a zone right there, and it's recoiled off of it. Now it's formed that consolidation area that we're talking about here on the daily. Again, I'm looking at this 799, basically 800 area, this 800 zone as being the important zone to watch in all of this thing in order for that nice check mark trade to work out. Now, could it rally from this area? Sure, but I'm looking for a little bit more of a pop before we rally into the into the 830s, okay? So just a little bit further down, and then we can go back up. And so those are the important zones that I see playing out here. If it does break 830, look for it to retest the 842 to 847 area, just because that's really not that far up there. It's the next level here on the 4-hour time frame. So that's how fractal natured the markets are and how we expect to see price play out here over the next week.